95% of the
93.5%, the next
Okay.
best is 91.9%. Actually, now that I think about it, I probably can get an average on the sale price list price, so I'll get that out to you here shortly.
I think it comes, I just think that 90.5 or 90.2 is the board average, I thought.
Yeah, I
Which is
thought
not-
it was the
Yeah.
MLS.
Or the MLS average.
That probably isn't too far from off if
Yeah.
it isn't exactly right. So
Well,
I think-
but what's tough, it kind of depends on how many, like, some of that factor, I know I contribute to that number because of the bank-owned properties that I sell. Because they come out with a price, that's a drive-by appraisal, we list it at that, then we appraise it and drop the price in half. So it's gonna go off that original price.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, I think that, when you've got 333 closings, which by the way, that's a little sidebar here, that you're number one in St. Charles County with that, year to date, that's gonna kind of come out of the wall. I mean, I agree. You're gonna influence it one way, another person's gonna influence it another way, because I'd be using that number massively with anybody that I'm talking about selling. You guys care to know how you guys are working with the buyers? You guys are in the top, I think it's number 6 in the entire MLS. You get a 7.5% discount when you're working with your buyers. So you get a 92.5% sale price to list price when you're representing buyers. All right? So the 10th best office, you're doing 0.6% better than them on the 10th best office. So on a $200,000 property, you're saving your buyers on average $1,200. That's just staying in the top 10. If we went throughout the entire MLS, which I am going to go ahead and get these numbers for you because these are powerful numbers that you need to be using when your commission starts coming under attack.
So John, question for you on that real quick. So we sell a new construction, that Lombardo sale. Okay, I save them over 8% off the price they quoted us. But that's never gonna show up in those numbers because when we put it in, they put it in at whatever we agreed to.
That would be
Right?
correct.
Okay.
And here's the thing. I mean, like, even though there's you're not saying there, there's a variance here, but the variance that we're working with is the same variance that the rest of the,
Right.
the market's
Everything,
working
all
with.
the-
So
everything's-
it kind of washes out. Does that make sense there?
Mhm.
All right. So here's a couple of things that I'd be focused on if I were you guys. When somebody might be putting into question your ideas and strategies, when you're asking for a price reduction, or you're saying, hey, let's go ahead and maybe come in at this price, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, because we want to get it, right? Right now, you guys are year to date, $52 million in value, which is number one in St. Charles County. Want to know the next closest office with that volume was? That is?
Bluestone?
It is Bluestone.
47.
41.
You guys are outpacing by 20%, by the way. So that is flipping awesome. 43.7 million. I mean, that's pretty cool. Just as a little sidebar, pretty much every measurable category, you guys are number one in St. Charles County. And I'm very comfortable and confident saying that, so use it as much as you want to do.
Was that for the year so far?
Year to date.
And what was ours again, 50?
52 million, and the next closest office is 43.7 in St. Charles County. And so basically, pretty much every measurable category, you're number one in St. Charles County, and pretty much every measurable category in the entire MLS, you're in the top 4. Okay?
Because weren't we second to them last year, just barely?
I think we outpaced them last year.
Okay, I thought.
2 years ago.
Oh,
Maybe
Maybe
2 years ago.
Faced in 2007, surpassed.
Yeah. Which, think about this, guys. I mean, 5 years, and you guys are, basically taking the summit of every category here. I'm pretty sure they've been around for more than 5 years. Anyway.
Yeah.
And they're like an average, they've been around for 100 something years. So,
100?
you said it, I would agree. All right, so basically units year to date. You guys are 333 units year to date. This is actually as of Friday, so there's probably more units in there. Now this is killer. You assume that the number one role in St. Charles County again in that position. Next closest office, just give me a number. What do you think? 236 units.
What we do?
I mean, here.
He's laughing.
I mean, think about that.
Can't pay the light bill with that,
100
huh?
more units than the next best in St. Charles County.
What was ours?
333. 26.7 million in listed units.
You need to have, like,
The
some
next
kind of
closest
thing.
is 23.4 million in St. Charles County. That puts you number one in St. Charles County, number 3 in the MLS.
I think
You're right behind Kirkwood there. They have 35.7 million. So guys, here's the deal. I mean, when you're basically, top of your game, I mean, do you think you might be a target? Right?
Yes.
Reasons or results, you can't have both, right? So, guys, I would be talking with everybody about these numbers. Because what do they do to you? They
Because they're
validate
good.
you, right? They validate you.
Well, let me just share a quick story, and talking about being nice in the sandbox and, you know, like,
Although I wasn't
working with
being
other
very nice.
agents, no, you weren't, working with agents. Okay, I went to a luxury box at the game yesterday, okay, and the lender had given out tickets, you know, to different people, and it was actually an agent that their lender could not get the loan through, this other lender that they invited, whatever, could get the loan through, that we had to back out 2 weeks before closing. It's my listing, but we handled it with such, and guess who was in this box? All three of us, you know, and it was real, you know, the agent said, you know, you didn't get nasty, you didn't get ignorant. She goes, I've had people that went out to do mutual release, you know, it's whatever. But we played well in the sandbox, and everyone involved said the same thing. So it's really kind of cool. Because we didn't know we were all gonna be in the same place, sitting next to each other at the same time.
For 3 hours.
You know? Yeah.
About 4 hours,
So
yeah.
it's always good to play nice in the sandbox and shout your numbers and invite them over to talk to you about, because we're gonna go to coffee.
You bet. I mean, yeah, top agents, these are numbers that people are attracted to. Not just top agents, but I mean, business professionals. When you start speaking in numbers, they're excited about that. When you start speaking in results, reasons or excuses, I mean, how does that turn you guys on? Do you want to go ahead and talk with anybody that's excuse after excuse after excuse? No, right? So talk with the clients that are going to be attracted to this stuff. Those are going to be probably individuals that are going to be easier to work with, right? So guys, here's the fun part. Scotty mentioned a little bit about profit share. So if we're doing more production and creating more profit in the organization, we share a little bit more of that, right? Like, I'm pretty excited about this because the other last week we got together real briefly, and like, dude, I got a pretty nice check. There's something to this. What's going on?
Yeah, I always like walking into Hiller's office and he's got these things tagged up on the wall. So last week I got half of the best one I ever seen him get. And that was mainly because of,
Can you humor us? How much was it?
it was 500 and some change.
That's pretty cool.
It's a nice token.
But that was mostly because of Leslie English and Will Klein, two of my downliners.
Question, Mike, how long have you been with the company? More than 3 years, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, it's less than 2.
So you're not invested
Guys,
yet,
let's
huh?
put some perspective to this, all right? You know, I know a lot of you guys out there are looking at that wealth transfer and saying, how can I participate going forward, right? So, you know, a lot of folks are looking to buy properties to get a rental income, right?
Right.
What type of property, how much would that property be to get a $500 a month cash flow? Give me a guess. Some of you guys that do a little bit of the investment side of things, how much do you think you'd have to buy it for?
At least 100,000.
100,000?
At least, yeah.
Any other ideas?
I'd say 100,000, but the 100,000, good investment property. 500 risk.
So the way that I look at that, man, I mean, like, is basically you've got a vested interest in a $100,000 asset if you're getting $500 a month.
Well, you know, John, the other thing that I've always preached about to other people is, you know, there is hardly any pension plans out there in the corporate world. Not to say there's ever been one in the real estate world, but I always look at this as sort of a pension plan, especially the way it's set up, and then also, obviously, after we pass, it still goes to a person below what our spouses, is that right? It goes to one other person below. So it's an incredible incentive to me.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, awesome. So, I mean, here's the deal. If you really want to go out and benefit from the profit share stuff, what do you need to do first? Get a downline. Think
Give
about,
people
think,
finance.
no. Think about where we just spent most of our time talking about. Were we talking about recruiting or were we talking about production?
Production.
Well, I'd say first production, then show them what the numbers are of that production. Why would that come first?
With the
Because
production, and I use
talent
this phrase,
attracts
thank you. With the production, the recruiting becomes shooting fish in a barrel. It makes his job so easy.
So guys, here's something, I mean, it's a Gene Rivers approach. You know, what does Gene Rivers say when he sits down with a seller? You guys know, kind of.
He says
Yeah, I can't remember.
his purpose it's not to sell their home, but to be a referral.
Oh, yeah. You guys catch that? So when you sit down, hey Bonnie, I'm not interested in selling your home right now. What I'm most interested in is getting a referral from you. Now, the way that I look at it is that the best way for me to get a referral is to accomplish your real estate goals. And in order to do that, I'm gonna have to sell your home. Is that okay with you?
Yes, it is.
Right? So now what's he doing? He's programming them for
Yeah,
a
pre-framed.
referral,
Yeah.
and then he's going full with it, right? So the same thing here, right, guys? So, that's basically the folks who wanna do that, which allows me to kind of segue. So I told you earlier that, listings are the fuel of our business. And what are listings as a whole doing in the market? Listings taken. What's on this luxury real estate? What does it say?
Fine.
Declining. 15% less, fewer listings taken this time over last year. So I actually did ask Liz Beckett. She was very excited to share some ideas with it. It really helped her have an explosive last weekend. However, she got hit with that flu bug. And I was having a conversation with Mark, and
Cheap substitute.
Bridesmaid.
totally roped him in.
I guess
Totally
they
roped him
get
in, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of my prouder moments of roping somebody into
Fish in a
it.
barrel.
The Tim Tebow real
That's
estate.
why.
So this will not work out well, because I know that
We'll bring it back.
basically I caught you like at 7:30 this morning. So I just wanted to ask you, and we can keep it as long as you want or brief as you want. I'm seeing your listing inventory grow rapidly. So come on up here, Dwight.
Yeah.
So what, man, seriously.
You were heard earlier, so I got the double take.
But just real briefly, man, just give me the scoop. Why are you seeing an increase in your listing inventory while the rest of the world is seeing 15% drop?
Past referral, past client referrals. Staying in touch with past clients, and they remember the service levels that you gave them, down on a 33 touch, and dropping phone calls here and there. And I think the last 5 listings were referrals.
That's awesome. So it's really that simple.
Yeah, it really is. I think that's probably the part of my business that I was missing. I always survived on just, meeting people, things along those lines, but I've really been putting some emphasis on past clients, other real estate, other real estate agents who have done business with me in the past are actually giving me referrals because they don't do listings. So, I've got one person who works for a small company, and I just went ahead and worked with the 4th listing that she gave me for a referral.
That's great.
Because she knows that I sell her listings. We talked about the meeting earlier today,
Which
I
meeting was
think-
that, Mark?
Well, it was, what's the name of the group that you lead? Anyway, I think that the thing is that I'm pricing my properties right, and I'm selling the properties, and people will share your name if you have success.
Awesome. So where do you think the board is going wrong if they're seeing a drop of 15%? What do you think maybe there's some risks they're falling victim to?
Well, I think what's happened is that we have been prepared for the change in the market. When the market was low, we did the things consistently while the market was low, and we all had good years. My last 3 years have gone up because I've changed the way I looked at things, and at the same time, I've done business differently. I knew that eventually the market was going to change. I developed a team concept. I also went ahead and I stuck my neck out and expanded my administrative staff, which actually does a better job, making contact with past clients and everything else, and the service levels that we give. So I prepared for this, and I'm not going to be sitting on my hands like I was when I got this business in 2002, when the market was crazy and I didn't know anything about it, and God only knows how much money I left on the table.
It's kind of cool. So the aha that I'm catching here is it's not like, the amount of success you've had specifically over the last few weeks. You've had some awesome weeks. Would you agree?
I'm not gonna screw it up this time.
We wrote $2 million in April. We closed 1.9 in April.
Those are careers for some people.
Yeah.
I'm out working with buyers now, Because my buyer's agents are busy, but yet at the same time, I'm out working with buyers. I've got 1.1 million in my pipeline right now for buyers.
Yeah, those are some awesome numbers. We'll do it. The biggie is that with one of our team members who has a relationship with somebody, we're going to pick up about $16 million in listings.
Wow.
Wow. Put some things into perspective. How much inventory does the entire market center have? You guys remember that volume? 26.7 million. More than half of,
Basically, we can add to that, we're working on putting those in systems on.
50%.
It's commercial, a lot of it's commercial, but it's still, it's slow dollars, but yet at the same time, it's signs out there, your number on it, it's going to generate interest in potential buyers.
One of the big ahas I'm hearing though is that you've had a massive April, but it's not because of all the work you've done in April, it's because of.
No, it's the stuff we did in December, January, February, making contacts and asking for business.
What's the reception you're getting from those, your sphere of influence? I mean, where's their motivation level? Do you see more people kind of coming towards you? Just kind of give me an idea.
Yeah, I believe that, they're seeing the signs out. And people want to do business with people who are more successful than other people. I mean, the bottom line is just give great customer service, and your clients will remember you. But you got to stay in touch with them. 17 days after a closing, you will not, they will not remember you. I mean, if I ask everybody in here who they bought their car from, their last car, probably 10% of you can tell me the salesman's name. But when you wrote the offer for your car, it was probably your best friend, wasn't it? But yet nobody remembers it.
By the way, that number's no different in real estate, right? It's only 80 or 90% of the people say that they'd be willing to use their realtor again,
They
1%
remember.
actually do. Think about this too, guys. I mean, there's 30% of the real estate population has left the industry, which means that there's 30% of that population that they're orphans, right? So I mean, for those individuals that are relaunching or launching their career, this is a huge opportunity. I mean, absolutely massive.
Remember stuff and I talked about the other day, where our business is coming from, and it's past clients.
What's one passing thought you'd leave with the audience as far as what to focus on to make sure that this brings a huge opportunity for them, that they capture?
Let everybody know what you're doing. Take in more business cards they can give out, and make the phone calls asking for business. Well, I think that my sister's going to be listing their house. Well, get the sister's name and number, or get the card of the person that told you that. Contact them and say, hey, you mentioned about your sister. Can I get a hold of your sister? When you just hand out business cards, there's less of a chance that they're going to call you. They will, but there's less of a chance. Get their business card and call them.
Keep it in your control. Here, guys, I gotta be honest with you. The piece that I love about this is the simplicity of it, and the concern that I have is the simplicity of it. Because I know that some of you guys are gonna hear, and you're like, yeah, I've heard that before, Why aren't you doing it? Right? And that's the thing. I mean, the simple things are the things that work, and I appreciate you reiterating
I think
that.
you do it, but you don't do it consistently. It's a consistent thing. That's it.
Awesome stuff, guys. Good stuff. Mark actually made a reference to the launch program that's out there. So if you want to share with me a little bit about what's happening in that launch program and what's going on there.
Stand on
Give
the
me
little
these
white X.
few-
There's a little white X. You want to stand?
I'm looking around for the white.
It's like Johnny Carson, you get the little white X. You gotta stand.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, we started the launch program, and it was for agents that were newly licensed or had joined our programs, or agents that wanted to relaunch their business. And we have a mixture in our class right now. So we have probably on the books a possibility of closing $40,000 in
I think actually
commissions.
it's more now that I'm hearing some of the things that are
Yeah.
going on in the
Could-
pipeline.
Yeah, it could be,
So,
because I keep changing the numbers daily.
you guys understand that? That's 40 grand in commissions that the launching agents are cultivating right now. Guys, that's pretty cool stuff. And if I'm not doing that, right now, I need to be talking to
Pretty
Gwen.
nice pickup truck.
Well, I think, for a testimony of this today is we have 30% of the agents here today are from the launch program.
That's pretty
So
cool.
they're buying into what's going on.
Yeah, let's do that.
The whole idea was have a strategic, successful plan for success, but to have local support. So that's the reason we have our learning lab downstairs, and it's really working out real well. So it's really fantastic. Can I just do a couple things? Denise Reinhardt she had another appointment, and she couldn't be here tonight. I'm so sorry. But anyhow, we had a class last week, 2 classes on open houses. We had a class on open house, then we went to a house and pretended we were showing it as an open house. So she got this idea, I'm sure you've seen the email that has come out about the barbecue. She got that idea from our open house class. It was to bring the community together, so that's what they're gonna do, is inviting the whole community to the barbecue. And then she also learned that she should involve vendors, so she had some vendors to come in to participate. They're gonna give away drawings and have a real barbecue. But she's involving the whole neighborhood, and of course all the agents that would like to go. And she's encouraged all the vendors to put it on their Facebook. So that was a huge lesson. We had some really good ideas. Robin taught the class for us on Monday, and then, as I said, we did the practical on Thursday. So that worked out really well, I thought. Get some really good ideas on that. And then, Curtis, you want to tell us your story?
Love
Shortly?
to, love to.
Short.
I've just kind of started the Facebook program for our launch class, and it highlights things that we're doing. We have weekly key speakers and talks a little bit about what these speakers are doing, the learning lab and what that's all about, and the accomplishments of the people in the launch program, what their goals are, and the expectations that were met. Now, last week was our first key speaker. Her name was Robin Hayes, and she came in and talked about not just putting a sign up, but 15 creative ways that you wouldn't think about to having an open house. And I've got a listing, I've done several open houses, and I was lucky to get a phone number. I did an open house this past weekend after going through that class, and now I have 3 solid leads out of it. So it works. And today we had Mark Keller talk about not how to put your house on the market, but how to put your house in the market. So he'll be featured, that'll be up on our site today. So it is, if you guys want to check it out, it's Keller Williams West Launch, not Keller Williams Realty Launch, but Keller Williams West Launch. And that's our Facebook page. It kind of just talks more about the program.
So we have brand new agents that are just newly licensed. Now, we have several people that's like, 3 weeks maybe or whatever. And then we have a couple of agents that have more experience. So, Steph, you want to say something about being one of the more experienced agents in the program?
Well, I think for me, it's just keeps me accountable, and it has kept me focused and sharing ideas. And I've actually got some different ideas from the open house one, and I've been doing open house for 2 years. But I mean, since it just seems like since I've been, doing stuff, all of a sudden my business has started to really take off just in the last couple of weeks. So it has.
So I really appreciate that. Okay. So every Monday and Thursday morning, we have accountability. We have a pipeline here to justify your contacts, your appointments, and all of this, and we keep a record of that. And then we have a one-on-one opportunities. So.
And just for people who have a team or building a team, as we add people to our team, I'm gonna split the cost with the agent, because I want them to have some skins in the game, but I think if they're willing to do that, it takes some training off of our team, and then all we have to do is focus on is actually how we do things in our market center. So, other teams might wanna, maybe think about that.
I couldn't agree more.
Thank
Love
you.
it. It's gonna be awesome stuff.
Thank you.
Mr. Klein is going to share with us what's going on. We've got a pretty fun calendar set up for May. And one of those big events is actually Red Day on May 9th, next Thursday, man. So what in the world is going on for Red Day? What's happening here? I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited about it because I think it's a way that everybody can get involved rather easily.
Right.
And I think it can make a huge impact. So I love that.
how do I invest as little time as possible to make as much impact as possible?
Well, and I've heard the calls and people want to still go dig in the dirt. So we'll figure out a way, if people that want to go dig in the dirt, you can go do that. But, what we've done is in communication with Habitat for Humanity, which I think is a great connection for us because it's homes and home building. The other thing, it's a mile from here where these lots are. They love that people want to come out and build, and we're always welcome to come out. They have a date if we want to go out the next week. They didn't have anything that week. What they really need is financial support. They've got all the lots. They've got the okay to build. They need money to buy the supplies. So meeting with their executive director and another staff member, what they asked is if there was a way we could help them raise money. So what we want to do, the plan is basically do a fundraiser. And the easiest way to do that is basically online. And a friend of mine did one on Facebook that went really well, and it was really easy. Amy Spencer over there. What's great about it is you put a picture, and the comments are bids. You already got their name and information of who's doing the bids. The great thing is my 2,000 friends can look at it when I share those pictures, and your 2,000 friends can look at it, and your 2,000 friends. So if we all share it, it's really easy to get those auction items out there. The idea is we'd like each agent to donate something. It could be, you might buy gift certificates. Several people said they might put a basket together, those kind of things. If you know of a service that somebody wants to offer, something like that. And then every one of those dollars we're going to donate to Habitat for Humanity. They're also going to make a big deal about it for us in the county that this auction is going on as well. So, you know, the goal is not about publicity, but it will add publicity for our office in this effort. Because they say every real estate office wants to come out and build. Something unique would be somebody that actually helped them raise money. So that's where they really see the value in our assistance. So the work part of it is going out and taking some time to maybe make a basket. What we'd like to do physically for a display in here, I'm trying to look at the schedule. We have a power meeting that Monday, but is there classes in here after that week? They have pre-licensing classes?
No.
Really? Because what we'd like to do is actually bring the baskets in and open it up with like a live auction. And then when we enter those pictures in, we can actually say, here's where the bidding starts at. So if somebody wants to put a bid, we'll actually enter that in and put you in as the bid. What makes it really easy is you physically don't have to bring it here otherwise. So if it's something too large or whatever, all I really need is a picture. You can house this item because I don't need it until the auction ends. The idea is that we would launch the auction on the 9th, which is Red Day. We'd basically go, I think we said 3 weeks was the plan. We go 3 weeks to let that bid go and then basically announce the winners. And then we would bring the items here so that the winners could come to our location to get it. If it's something small, that's when your friends from the other side of the state or other states could bid on it. We could potentially send them, but most of the items would be picked up here. So, questions? I have some puzzled looks.
Over the next few days, can you kind of just give us, more specifics on how exactly to either get it on our Facebook page or whatever that might be?
What I'd really like too is we have all these sign-up sheets around the office. Basically, if you can put your name and maybe if you already know what you're going to do, like put your name and basket, and I think my value is going to be $50, whatever it is, or something like that. If you can do that there, and then if the email address, why don't you use this one for me if you want to send me pictures? Just WKleinRealty at Gmail. It's WKLEIN Realty at Gmail. That's and that way we'll just put all the pictures. I'll collect all the pictures there. So if you want to send me the picture of it. If you bring it, the only challenge with bringing it here is storing it for 3 weeks. We don't really have, as you heard, there's not a lot of office space to store these. We'll stack them up in Stephanie's office.
Offices.
Offices.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Hey, I have 2 suits as well, so I understand what it's like. Can't knock a wall down, excuse me.
Can you tell?
But yeah, what I'd like to do in here is just use the tables around the edge so you can come in and bid, and then we'll, as best we can, possibly find a way to house them, maybe back with you. Just that way, if we split them up, that one basket in your office, and then promote it yourself. If you've got something, I think it'd be a challenge to see which agent can raise the most money off their item too. I think that'd be kind of cool to see. We'll make a big deal about that too. So that's kind of the thing.
So on the 9th, there's not actually anything going on?
You know, you're physically working on your item up until that point. So the 9th is when we do the display. Yeah.
And then I'd say probably the.
That's the
9th.
launch.
Here's what I would suggest, on the 9th, maybe we can get together here and actually have an hour of dedicated time where we're on Facebook and trying to pump it out.
Mhm.
So be thinking about that.
I have lots of places
Does that
people
make
really
sense?
still want to get dirty, where they can go get dirty. There's lots of, you know, you want to work on that dog park, I got lots of places.
So basically, what I'd be focusing on right now is just getting items, you know, up until the 9th, and then we'll make sure we keep you abreast of what's gonna be happening on the 9th.
And here's the challenge for the teams or for the individual agents to raise money. If you're in partnership with certain vendors, you know, see if they'll, you know, maybe your team supplies 2 baskets or 3 baskets. You know, I'm gonna look to some of my friends that I do business with, even my auto mechanic, and say, give me a couple of oil changes. You know, just idea